Welcome back to Skilled Stadium. The toss of the coin just taking place, and it's a crucial toss with a stiff breeze blowing to the left of screen, so this is going to be pretty pivotal. And Tom Harley, as you can see, wins the toss for the Cats and kicks with the wind. They'll be kicking to the left of screen. It is about a 2 or 3 goal breeze. It's pretty gusty straight down the corridor here at Geelong, so Geelong have got to make first use of it and get some sort of significant break on the West Coast Eagles by quarter time if they're going to win this game. There are some showers forecast. Right now the weather's absolutely beautiful down here, albeit a bit chilly. There was some showers overnight. This ground was particularly wet when we first got down here this morning. There was a TAC under-18 game played here earlier, which has chopped the surface up a little bit, but it's let a bit of that water drain off. And right now, other than a few greasy patches in the goal squares and the middle of the ground, this ground is perfect for footy. But that breeze in the first quarter that Geelong's kicking with should be pretty significant.
Thanks, Andy. I thought it would be a beautiful day for footy, wouldn't it, Chris? These conditions?
It looks fantastic. That wind might be a bit fluky, and it's a great move, Steve, that the Cats have been able to kick with it in the first quarter because they need to get away to a good start. I think that's imperative. They beat the West Coast by 76 points late last year. They need to get away to a good start.
They are good starters, in fact, this year. Despite their form, they've won 7 of 9 first quarters this year, so they are good starters. Just the other end of the game is the problem.
Look, I think the big thing Bomber Thompson will be looking at is just their commitment, particularly in this first quarter. Obviously, things haven't gone well for him over the last couple of months. He'll just want to see if his players have put the commitment in this first quarter.
Yes, and Nathan Ablett will line up at full forward. There he is. Darren Glass with the job on Nathan Ablett. And as we mentioned, 4 goals last time these sides met, and he'll be looking forward to it, I'm sure.
And good to see Jason Mooney playing at centre-half forward. Cameron Mooney, I should say. Cameron.
So all set here. Big game, particularly for the Cats. They need to get back on the winners list. Umpire McInerney to get things underway. The West Coast versus Geelong at Skilled Stadium. Cox wins the first tap to Cousins. Handball out wide, Braun. Advantage called. The kick towards full forward. Good mark taken.
Cousins put down off the ball too, Chris O. He's getting up very gingerly.
He got a couple of big hits last week as well.
So Scarlett finds Kelly. And there's a loose player on the wing. Jared Rook. Just a little fumble, but he's got plenty of time. Corey put him under a little bit of pressure, but Corey was able to get the handball back to Rook, who drives it long towards Mooney. Inside attacking 50. Glass at the back read it pretty well. Wobbles the kick out wide. But Cousins, who looks to have made a full recovery, sweeps the handball to Fletcher. Shares it out wide with Hunter. They're doing pretty well here, the West Coast. Big Dean Cox lumbers away, runs to 60. Where will he go with the left boot? Long to the goal square. Waters at the back. Good strong mark taken in front, though. Well played by Darren Milburn.
Now, I tell you what, Ben Cousins, he might be tagged pretty boy by some people, but not only can he play, he is as tough as they come, Cousins. He's up, had a couple of big hits last week. He got crunched at the start, but he's up and going. As the Cats go inside 50, Mooney on the left. Bit of a floater, and chipping in as a man who has only played 11 games of footy, but I'll tell you what, he's looking good. Yeah, Jamie Graham, and there you go. Well, it happens every time, every time. But nevertheless, he does look the goods, young Graham. So bad turnover here, and the free kick is going to be taken by Corey. The short's on, it's not a good option, and mopping up easily as we're Punda. Sweeping handball to Cox, who's got a paddock. Cousins giving him a lead on the wing. He ignores him, so he just lumbers along. 3 bounces for Cox. Now he's run himself in a bit of trouble. Gives it over to Kerr. Kerr pumps it long. Chick has got the sit here. He flies, can't take the mark. Still there. Stripped of the football. Ball comes out to Stenglein. Now Lynch. He's been in good form from 45. He has a ping. And the first score of the match goes to West Coast. It's a point to Quinton Lynch.
Just a couple of matchups in the middle. Braun on Kelly and Bartels on Stenglein.
And Jared Rook has picked up Ben Cousins. Thought he might have got the job on Kerr. You can take your pick. Corey marks the kick in. Off to Bartel. And the kick is effective. Mark taken low down by Chapman. Paul Chapman's been one of the best Geelong players this season. Searching kick towards Mooney. Well done by Hunter, but Mooney gave a second effort. Emily did very well. Hunter will want the boundary line here. Kelly does superbly. Keeps his hands free. His handball in the end, perhaps a little too fierce for Mooney. Emily, Hunter just jams it on the boot. Ball still in a dangerous position here for the Eagles. Now Ablett off a step, tries to find his brother. Kick just astray, just pushed off at Gary Ablett. And the boundary throw will result deep in Geelong's left forward pocket.
One of the matchups I'm looking forward to is Wirrapunda on Chapman. Chapman, a very dangerous play, but he'll know that Wirrapunda gives him plenty of space.
Otten's the front posse. Nice tap down. Mackie to Corey. Into open space. Running onto his Johnson. Nikoski's good. That's well done by Nikoski. Beautifully done as the Eagles get out of trouble. Little give and go. Back to Nikoski. Plenty of room out there on the outer wing at the moment for the Eagles as they go to half forward. Oh, he's putting his body on the line there as Kelly did well. Got the handball out to Corey. Over to Scarlett. In fact, it's Rook. Rook now steadies on the right, puts it inside 50, looks for Mooney, takes the diving mark.
Oh, he's got off to a good start. He's that focal point they need up forward because he will bring the ball to ground if he doesn't mark it. And the Geelong smaller forwards need to know this, but he's off to a pretty good start, Cam Mooney.
So Cam Mooney today playing his 100th match for Geelong. 111 games in total. Started his career with the Kangas. Drop putt on its way. He's got the aid of the breeze, but he misses to the right, so 1 point apiece.
Breeze probably worth 2 to 3 goals, so Cats will need to make full use of it. That's what's ahead of David Wirrapunda as he eventually kicks short to Fletcher. So Geelong have manned up pretty well here, except for Kerr, who accepts the short kick. Thought about going across the ground, but decides to kick close to the line. Hunter the target, but I think it's out on the full. Mooney takes Hunter out with him. And Trainer coming in there, West Coast Trainer just pushing Mooney aside. Now, he could be in trouble here, Hunter.
Yeah, that was nasty.
Ooh,
concrete there too.
Well, it's lucky, in fact, it was probably the player's box.
Yeah, he's hurt himself badly. That's going to have to be looked at, boys.
I mean, if that had been just a metre to the right,
could have been
he would have
really serious.
He would have headbutted the concrete. And the boundary line here at Skilled Stadium very close to the fence.
See the concrete just
on the right there.
On the right there, and that could have been potentially a lot worse than it's ended up being.
So
Andy Marr, what have you seen down there?
Oh, it was, you could hear the thud of his head on the barricade around the ground. It was particularly nasty.
Bad news for Adam Hunter as Harley kicks out wide. Mark taken okay from Joel Corey. Otten's leading into the pocket. Eventually he goes to him, and Otten's marks right on the edge of his kicking range. He'll need to kick it 55. There's Nathan Ablett.
I guess, Chris, that's a problem with an old-fashioned suburban ground, isn't it?
It is. So Geelong still looking for their opening goal. Otten's from outside 50 across the face and through for a behind. So the Cats lead by a point early stages of this big match at Skilled Stadium.
A few of the West Coast Eagles blokes definitely let Cameron Mooney know what they thought about that too.
Well, looking at a replay, it's a hard one. I mean, Mooney didn't have much room to move either, did he?
Look,
I reckon that's a bit tough.
I think he had to make the contest, which he did, but he didn't follow through at all.
No,
so.
I think it's a bit of a tough call looking on replay, but we'll have another look at it shortly. But as I said, it could have been potentially a lot worse.
Mooney actually said to Stengline, my eyes were on the ball through the whole thing.
So Ling for Geelong. Goes sideways to Bartel. Eagles get numbers back. So Bartel's just going to load up a kick and hope for the best with Punda all by himself. And takes an uncontested mark. Cousins, short to Hansen. Leads on the wing. And that's going to be out in the full too, is it? No, just touched on the line by Waters. That was a close call. Cats fans want a free kick. Nevertheless, we got a throw in.
Here's the incident with Cam Mooney.
Yeah,
don't know about the eyes being on the ball.
I can tell you what, all he did was
spoil.
He just went to spoil there. He certainly didn't go through with it. So can't blame Mooney for that.
We're putting it close to the line and over. So a boundary throw in right below us.
Just on the breeze, Chris, this is definitely the defensive side of the ground. The breeze is blowing into this pocket down on this side of the ground.
And we've seen the Eagles already kick a couple out on the full with the wind affecting it, Andy. So a boundary throw in. Ottens gets good position. Doesn't get an effective knockaway, though. Cox, little kick around the body. Banfield on the ground. Well done, Selwood, although his handball was too fierce for Kerr. Corey jams it on the boot. Ball inside, attacking 50. Mooney keeps his feet. Now a chance for Ablett. He's got where Punter to get around. He does, and he kicks the opening goal of the match. Well played, Gary Ablett. So Geelong have had all the play in the last 2 or 3 minutes and finally get reward for their effort.
Well, they do, and really Cam Mooney's been in the thick of things. We just see the quick kick out of a stoppage, but Mooney was able to get on it, and Ablett, he's just got tremendous balance, plenty of time there to get on his trusty right foot and slots in a lovely goal.
So with the aid of the breeze, the Cats get the first, and these conditions will suit Gary Ablett down to a T this afternoon. Cox the tap in the path of Cousins. Ottens did well to hold it up. Geelong win the football. Callan. Now Enright, he's run down. Ling's in there. Got to beat 3 Eagles here at the boundary line. Provide some solace there. So throw in slightly in the West Coast Eagles attacking half.
And it's just going to be interesting, the Cox and Ottens duel. You just know that Cox will run all over the ground, try and wear Ottens out. Just will be interesting to see how long Thompson keeps Ottens on the ground for.
Ottens got first hand to it, to Enright. We're Punda. Oh! Bang goes Ablett. Oh, and Punda's up. Good hard stuff. Oh, eyes for the ball. Wipunda's been given the free. No, it's not going to Wipunda. Look at this for a clash. Just eyes on the footy. Well, Wipunda did anyway. Ablett fixed him up.
Well, he had the footy.
Yeah, Wipunda got up. Good stuff. That's what we like to see in Australian rules football.
Nothing wrong with that.
No. And the free kick's going West Coast way for another incident. Kick to the wing. It was Nikoski. Big pack fly. Now a chance for West Coast. Quick kick out of the pack by Stenglane to half forward. The bounce favours West Coast. Swooping his Cousins. He straightens up and he kicks a great goal. Here's another look at it. Bang goes Ablett. Good old-fashioned hip and shoulder. Wipunda did not take his eyes off the footy. And half of those 3 points can go to David Wipunda, I reckon.
Oh, yes, fantastic play. But what about the running by Cousins? He ran hard forward, was able to get on the end of it and kick the Eagles' first goal.
So the Eagles get their first. Ottens to do battle with Cox again in the centre. Cox wins it down. Stenglane couldn't get boot to ball. Good desperate stuff there from Jared Rook. He ties it up. Umpire letting it go, but eventually calls for it. Cousins with 4 possessions already. Leading possession winner on the ground. Joel Corey's had 9 possessions. Third man up, Corey wins it down. Bartel, oh, scrappy handball, put Rook under the pump. He's got to get it clear quickly, he does. Corey did brilliantly to get it over the top to Mackie. Get rid of it, son, he does. A wild handball though, good pressure from the Eagles. Emily couldn't control it. Steve Johnson can. Well done. Little give to Bartel. He hurries to kick inside, attacking 50. Brilliant trap from Cam Mooney. Can he find a target? Kick around the body, intended for Chapman. Chapman should go from here. He loves these. Kicks a goal for the Cats.
Great play, Mooney, wasn't it?
Well, sensational. He's been in everything. And look, the kicks into the forward line haven't been pretty, but the fact is that Mooney's been in front providing the contest. And we just see there, great trap of the footy, great centre of the football also, and Chapman was never going to miss.
So Mooney's been hot early, and 2 of the Cats who really have had consistent seasons, hasn't been many of them, but Chapman and Ablett have, and they've kicked the opening 2 goals for Geelong. Andy Marr, any more news on Hunter?
He's up and about, quarters. He looks as bright as a player could possibly be expected to be after a clash like that. They've got the bandage on his head now. He's up and about doing some run-throughs. I don't think it'll be too long until he's back on the ground.
Cats go inside 50. Ablett flew high, couldn't take the mark, got first hands on it, just didn't stick. Now his brother comes in, fed it out to Johnson. This for Geelong's third.
The work there from Gary Ablett was just spectacular. You see the mismark from Nathan, but look at the tackle that Gary Ablett applies here on Jamie Graham, and then strips him of the ball and slips a handball out to Steve Johnson.
Well, you can't beat
Quite
second
remarkable.
second and third efforts, and that's what he's so good at, Ablett. Hunter back onto the ground.
Adam Hunter back on the ground, not happy with the treatment he got from Cam Mooney, and Mooney won't just stand there and take it. Back in the centre, this game hotting up. The Cats doing well early. Cousins ferreting hard there in the centre square. Spills to Blake. Well done, big fella. Gets just his third kick of the year. Up towards half forward. Out comes Hunter. Almost threw it out.
He is fired up.
Out to Emily. And he gives it to Weirpunda. High towards the wing. The ball holding up against the breeze. Milburn from the side with courage. Blake doesn't know where to go, so eventually back to Scarlett, who finds a target. Bartell marks on the wing.
Just in the middle of the ground. Cousins has been decked again, so he's gone down twice in this game so far.
There's Mooney. Well, this is going to be a very interesting clash now. Hunter's back on and is not happy with Mooney, but a little bit unfairly, we'd suggest. He sells the dummy. Mooney for a goal. Sensational stuff from the big hairy cat. There's Mooney. Well, this is going to be a very interesting clash now. Hunter's back on and is not happy with Mooney, but a little bit unfairly, we'd suggest. He sells the dummy. Mooney for a goal. Sensational stuff from the big hairy cat. Well, if ever a man was on fire in the first quarter, it was Cam Mooney. He was awesome, and the Cats are out to a 31-point lead with their season on the line. 7-2 plays 2-1. Corey, 14 touches in the first quarter. Kelly also in the double figures. Cousins and Fletcher and Weirpunda all with 7 apiece for West Coast. It was tough stuff, and it all started when Mooney and Hunter clashed. Now, the Eagles unhappy with this, but really Mooney couldn't do anything here. He was just made a contest of it, and it was just lucky that he didn't hit his head on the larger piece of concrete. It's an occupational health and safety issue there for sure over the next few days. And then Ablett cleaned up Weirpunda. Weirpunda got straight up to his credit. And Ben Cousins, who got a couple of big knocks last week, was also bowled over a couple of times in that first quarter. So they are throwing their weight around as Cousins was forced to come off for a break. And there is Hunter. Looked like he's been in a car accident. He's got cuts all over him. And that will certainly be an issue over the next few days with that concrete that was near the players' dugout. Luckily, it wasn't more seriously injured. Andrew Marr.
Yeah, thanks, Quarters. Ben Cousins is going to get Jared Rook all day. He and Hunter were okay at the huddle. Ben Cousins is just sore. He's going to be sore all the way through this match.
So second quarter underway and a secondary bounce. It'll be interesting to see what transpires in this second term with the West Coast kicking with the aid of a 2 or 3 goal breeze. Ottens does well. Chance for Mackie. All of a sudden finds himself in space. Long inside attacking 50. Oh, well done by Class.
Sauce, with the lead Geelong have got, now they're kicking against the breeze. What's the temptation for Mark Thompson to put a loose man back in defence?
Well, it's a possibility, but I don't think Mark Thompson would change anything. They're winning enough of the ball. They're playing one-on-one footy. I reckon he's got to go with the same game plan as he did in that first quarter.
Pritlucky had the head down and got the free kick for a high tackle. Nikoski in space. Takes them on. He's got support out wide from Selwood. If he chooses to use him, he does. Selwood now driving kick towards full forward. Hansen, well done by Egan, got a fist in there. Chance for Lynch. Awkward looking kick. Soccer by Chick back into a dangerous position, but Steve Johnson there for Geelong. Good handball, sets Mackie away. He kicks it short, and Chapman now in space as the crowd respond. Kick onto the chest of Mooney, who had an outstanding first quarter. Nathan Ablett leads. Mooney wants to kick it long, so he just waited perhaps too long because Weirpunda got back. Ablett forced to spoil, and that loose player Weirpunda mops up. Handball over to Nikoski, and the Eagles out of trouble.
He's got a beautiful left foot, and he finds Cousins at half back. Back to Weirpunda. So we reckon there's at least a couple of goals in this breeze here at Skilled Stadium, but it's not a ferocious win by any stretch of the imagination, so it's not a huge advantage for West Coast this quarter. Just well, we're not at Windy Hill, they might have been tied. Otten's the tap almost to himself. In fact, he did tap it to himself in the end. Now Rook wobbles one to half forward and Burns playing in front. Dishes off to Ablett. Ablett goes for home. It's long, but it's just offline. Right idea, though. And a point to Geelong. 1-1 so far this afternoon to Gary Ablett.
Margin 32 points. He has Waters marks in the back pocket. Oh, dangerous looking kick. Gives the opportunity to Bartel, who takes a beauty. Jumping all over the top of Selwood.
Says thanks very much. You'd expect to see that.
Oh, gee, set him up. A treat.
That's where they've been good, the Cats. They've been able to put enough pressure one-on-one where the Eagles have found it difficult to run it out of their defence.
So, James Bartel, 5 goals, 6 from set shots this year. Has kicked 11 goals, 7 for the season. From 45 into a slight breeze. Wonderful kick. Geelong further in front. So the Cats with the first of the second term, and they are playing some irrepressible football at the moment. Their lead is out to 38 points.
Yeah, just super pressure. They're just forcing little mistakes by West Coast at the minute, and that one's a poor one, a poor kick coming out of the fence. It was high, but it was short, and enabled Bartel to take a very good mark and kick an easy goal.
Well, this match is slipping away quickly from West Coast. They've got to get a move on now. They're a good side, so expect them to fight back, but 38 points is a big, big buffer very early in the second term. Corey, disposal number 15. A high ball to half forward. Chapman against Wipunda. Cousins working as hard as ever. Keeps the ball alive. Rook. Good tackle. It just didn't quite stick. No, in the end it's a throw, says the umpire. The tackle didn't quite stick, but nevertheless it's a free kick going West Coast way. And it's going to Beau Waters. Umpire in perfect position for that one. Oh, kick over your mark. Well, he's on the wing, umpire. Put him about 10 centimetres. That's just pedantic. Just being pedantic. Let's get on with the game. Come on, Shane McInerney. He almost got one to the back of the Scott for good measure. He can laugh about it, which is good. So now he's over his mark. Koski. Plenty of numbers back for Geelong. In fact, there's no one in one half of the ground, boys. So flooding back for the time being, the Cats. A long high ball inside 50. Big pack fly. Almost fell in the arms of Graham in the end. Busting his way through is Embley. Now he's given it up. That was a throw. Umpire let it go. And look at the amount of players over the football at the moment. There's the first gamer. Matthew Prittis, who's been averaging 28 disposals for the Waffle in the Waffle this year.
Ottens gets it down, spills to Milburn, to Scarlett. Hasn't had much to do today, Matthew Scarlett. Off to Enright. Chip dangerously.
Oh,
Corey. He almost threw it out.
It's red hot.
Bartel concedes ground back to Hunt, who delivers to Chapman, who's got it in half back. So they worked it pretty well there, the Cats. Enright. They built up a very good lead, 38 points. Oh, gee, it was a poor kick from Enright, and he's turned it over. So an opportunity here for the West Coast.
Look, I thought this was a throw, and I was right.
Let's just say a dubious-looking handball. Wipunda off a step, tries to spiral it towards full forward. Hansen, Egan, great mark from Matthew Egan. Got up in front, trusted his ability, and he marked strongly. Hunt to Milburn. And the Cats will try again to get it out of their defensive zone.
Well, any kick like that in these conditions is dangerous. Oh, Lings couldn't quite take the mark. Now's a chance for West Coast. Great tackle by Harley on Graham. He was going nowhere. Ling will have another crack at it. That's a good tackle. How long? Yeah, it's got to be a free kick to West Coast for sure. So they've paid the price for mucking around with it. Jones has got the free kick. Rowan Jones.
Gee, he must have been close to the boundary line there, Cameron Ling. Just to take an accidental step over.
Kicked 4 goals in the 7 games so far this season. This is a tough ask from here. Oh, he's done it. Magnificent kick from Rowan Jones. Eagles get one back. Gee, he made that look easy. That was a wonderful kick for goal.
Well, super kick.
Now, let's look at this again, Steve. Now, Ling wrestles the ball.
Well, that's fair enough.
That's a free kick.
Absolutely. No, I'm not suggesting it wasn't a free kick, but I just wondered how close he was to the line that he couldn't have backed over, but he was a bit further than I initially thought. So, great tackling and a great finish from Rowan Jones. So the Eagles bring it back to within 32 points with their first goal of the second quarter. Good pressure in their forward half, causing the turnover. Cox decisively into the path of Cousins. Kerr, now Fletcher, the big three getting involved. To the first game of Prentice, his handball. No, he did it brilliantly. Got two possessions there as he kicks it forward towards the pocket, or Emily perhaps should have gone for it.
Well, probably should have gone for it, but was the talk there. Probably needed his teammate to call him back.
So a boundary throw in. And there's Corey leading the possession count on the ground with 16. Cox and Ottens. Oh, Lynch almost got the handball away to Cousins. Emily fighting hard, scrambles it forward. Graham and Harley. Well done, Graham. Well tackled, though, by Harley. Good second effort from the Cat. And he ties it up, a bounce 20 metres from the Eagle goal. And there's the tackling.
Well, the tackling's been outstanding.
So, big chance here for the Eagles. Ottens beats Cox. Ball deflects out wide. Cousins. Fletcher. Prentice, who's done very well, hooks it back to the goal square. Egan again outpoints Hansen. And marks strongly. Well done.
They've just got their matchups right down back. The Cat, there's no real West Coast forward that looks like going to cause any problems for the Cats defenders.
Well, Hansen got away early in the first quarter, but Egan's fought back well. Geelong work it to the wing. It's Mackie playing game number 5 for the season. Gets it moving quickly. Ablett's in there. Worked his way to the front and is just about within range. We saw a goal kicked in the first quarter from about this distance from Jamie Graham for the Eagles. So Ablett, chance for his first this afternoon. Last time these teams met, he kicked 4. In he comes. Well, he's made a mess of that. And in the end, didn't even make the distance. Banfield, the veterans on. Little toe poke towards the boundary. Did it very nicely. That's experience for you. And we'll have a throw in 50 out from the Cats' goal.
Margin 32 points. Otten's doing very well this afternoon against one of the premier ruckmen in the competition, Dean Cox. Bartel hooks it around the body, high inside attacking 50. Oh, big Cox did it brilliantly there. Handball over the top to Weirpunda, who's got plenty of support. Banfield, kick into the path of Kerr. Eagles now starting to gain momentum. Kick is okay. Staker, in fact, it was better than okay. He marks in front of Egan. Staker with some penetration long towards full forward, all up high. Milburn couldn't take it. He was taken high, and no, said it the umpire. Play on's the call, and the ball tied up 35 metres from the West Coast goal, and a bounce. Milburn and Chick just having a quiet word. Mark Thompson, he's very happy with what's transpired so far this afternoon. Mackie taps it out into the path of Milburn. He gave it towards Kelly. Ball ricochets off legs. Kerr up and under handball. Hunt. Fletcher well tackled by Callan. Milburn nowhere to go. He does well in the end to Hunt. Rook scrambles it towards the wing. The Cats did pretty well in that exchange. Oh, Chapman punched it to his own advantage. Play on's the call.
Thought it was going to be a free kick.
Weirpunda and Chapman gets back involved and does superbly to see it over, and the Cats fans are irate. Let's look at this again.
Weirpunda stopped. He thought he was going to be picked for a free kick.
He continues on and actually doesn't even go to pick up the footy.
Yeah, he didn't. Cox. We get a clear possession away. Kelly working hard over to Callan. Now Milburn to Chapman, who's found some space. Usually uses it well. The big wind-up from Chapman. It's a good kick into the pocket to Ablett. Great kick.
Now, that's another example of a 50-metre penalty that would have been paid, in my opinion, in round 1, 2 or 3, but gets away with it here. As we watch the Chapman kick, the Ablett opponent is not in the contest and gets a push after he takes the mark.
Do you reckon?
Yep.
Nathan Ablett. Playing his second game for the season. 8 career goals so far in his 5 matches. Again, it just goes across the face, and that's a good mark in the back pocket taken by Cox. So Koski and Ablett off the ball having a bit of a go. Still going. As West Coast have possession.
Jones at half-back delivers towards Staker, who picks it up superbly. Clean hands there to Kerr, who gets around Kelly. Driving kick towards half-forward. Lynch went with it with the one hand, couldn't control it. Boundary throwing.
Nikoski and Ablett still going off at it off the ball, boys, in the back pocket.
Just warming up a bit too, Corys, I reckon.
It's getting a bit willing down there.
Boundary thrown at half-forward for the Eagles. Blake up against Cox. Kelly's got it. Well tackled by Prittis, who's been pretty impressive first gamer. Rosa somehow got boot the ball. High inside attacking 50. Bartel from the back couldn't control it. Hunt can. Well, he gives a handball straight to Staker. Can you believe that? Now towards Chick. Bartel, great tackle. Little kick from Chick just to get rid of the footy. Ling needs to get it out very quickly. Took a long time. Cameron Ling, for the second time in the quarter, has been penalised, and a free kick to the West Coast.
Well, I think the reason why he gets penalised, he's actually tackled and then he puts the ball to ground. If we can just see it there, ball comes to ground. There, that was the reason why.
Okay, fair enough. So, a couple of mistakes, but it's been this West Coast pressure in this quarter, particularly in their forward 50, that's been outstanding and has created the opportunity. So, an opportunity here for Rosa from 30 metres. He pops it through. Goal to the Eagles. So consecutive goals to the West Coast, the first time they've done that in the match, and the margin is back to 26 points.
Top decision by the umpire.
Yeah, it was very good decision, but it was basically the transition from the back line to the forward line, a little bit quicker into the forward line. They've just got to start getting a bit more of the ball inside their 50, West Coast. They've only been in there 6 occasions throughout the game.
So things have settled down between Nikoski and Ablett for the time being, as Cox has a break for West Coast. It's back to 26 points, the margin. Still, though, a handy buffer for the Cats. Fletcher smothers the Kelly kick. Fletcher has another go at it to Corey. Disposal number 18 over to Hunt. A high ball from the side. Lynch, spectacular mark. Well done. He gets it moving quickly to Kerr. Now, this is a dangerous kick. Put Nikoski under the pump. Ablett's there. Nikoski did well to Prittis. Back to Lynch. Back to Kerr. And they got out of trouble nicely there, West Coast. He goes sideways and finds Cousins.
Kerr looks like the one sauce that might be getting West Coast back into this.
Yeah, well, he had a quiet first quarter, and they do need one of their midfielders to start dominating the game.
And there he is, speak of the devil. He marks just forward of the wing. No one stands the mark, so he gets on with it quickly. Kick towards half forward. Rosa the target. Enroy works his way in front and out bodies Rosa. And marks at centre half back for the Cats. West Coast with what we think is a 2 to 3 goal breeze in this second term. Enright, Scarlett hasn't had much to do. Matthew Scarlett this afternoon, just coming in for disposal number 4. Hunt. So the Cats just intent at the moment on retaining possession. The Eagles aren't flooding back. It's one-on-one right across the ground. So it's not because of flooding, as Hunt kicks beautifully to the lead of Corey.
Having a massive game, Corey.
Coming in for disposal number 19, Joel Corey, who uses Steve Johnson. Steve Johnson wants to get on with it quickly now towards half forward. Burns, well done. Left half forward. one of Geelong's best last week, Shannon Burns, in the loss to the Tigers. He kicks on the lead. Mooney gets low down and marks. It's been paid. Adam Hunter doesn't agree with umpire McInerney, but it looked as though it was okay, and Hunter will come from the ground. He's just inspecting there for the blood rule. Now, what's going to happen? Has he sent him off? I think he has.
Yeah, he has. Gee.
As we look at the mark, he gets down low. That's a great effort from Cameron Mooney. And good umpiring.
He's a mess, poor old Adam Hunter, isn't he?
Yeah, scratches and cuts everywhere. After he ended up in the players' dugout, headlong, and was very lucky not to incur more serious injury. But just to be patched up, and I'm sure he'll be back, because he's got a big job on Cameron Mooney this afternoon, who will kick for goal. As you can see, he's almost standing in the first row at left half forward. And with the breeze slightly against, very, very difficult shot at goal this. He's kicked a couple. He's been outstanding, Cameron Mooney. From hard up against the line, across the face, predictably. Graham tries to fist it through. Stengline, Steve Johnson. Oh, was taken high, was he? Yes. Free kick to Steve Johnson. He'll kick from the impossible angle, but if anyone can manufacture something here, some brilliance, it's this man.
Ablett getting talking to from the umpire for patting Nikoski on the head, giving away that free kick.
So Steve Johnson deep in the right forward pocket. What can he conjure up here? He is a magician. Decides to kick back, and it's effective. Shannon Burns has marked 45 from goal, as good as directly in front. Thought he might have tried something magical there, Steve.
Yeah,
Steve
probably.
Johnson, but didn't worry about it. Now, what's
happening in the goal square? I think Kelly might have gone down.
Here comes Burns, and he misses to the left. So, Cats, a little wasteful there. Margin in favour of Geelong now, 27 points.
Banfield wastes no time. Good spot up. Finds Fletcher on defensive 50. His 10th touch to half-back. The diving mark taken by Stengline. So they're working their way back into the contest slowly, West Coast. 2 goals to 1 this quarter. There's still a lot of work to do. Cousins works hard. Receives across half-back. He'll pop it over the top here to Rosa. Exciting young talent. Oh, he's coughed it up. There you go. Give another guy a rap. Turns it over. Chapman, quick hands, clever, to Kelly. He's got Mooney one out. He goes, Mooney looks like he's a little bit ginger there. Still inside Geelong's attacking 50. Ablett's in there, fed out. Umpire calling play on good passage of play. Oh, the handball comes out, Mooney, oh, bang! Big hip and shoulder, still play on as Chapman goes short and finds Corey for disposal number 20.
Good fight by the Cat forwards.
Corey decides to go for it long to the goal square. Eagles have got the numbers. Well done by Banfield. An effective fist into the path of Weirpunda, who slips over the line. So a little win there for the Cats. Boundary throwing deep in their quarter, and there's the Mooney hit.
I reckon that had to be a free kick, though.
Izio out to Cameron Mooney 2 quarters. He's okay.
So Steve Johnson somehow, a wonderful goal. Steve Johnson kicks his second. Or has he kicked his second? He's kicked his second, and well, we talked a little earlier about his magical abilities. It was superb stuff, wasn't it?
Fantastic. Being able to shrug a tackle or two and put that goal through. He is very dangerous.
Second goal to Steve Johnson. And it's back out to 33 points. Early this turn, the Cats got it out to 38. Corey's had 20 disposals for Geelong. Weirpunda, this is his 13th for West Coast. A long kick to the 50. A couple of Cats flew. Hunt did well to Harley. And some game time in those legs now. And a short kick. Oh, Rook spilt the beans. It's time to recover to Hunt, who'll switch. Out in front of Milburn. Plenty of time to gather and use the ball. Kicks to the wing, and well done by Braun, who just got a fist of the ball. Corey, 20 disposals for West Coast, for Geelong. Kelly's got 14. While for West Coast, 13 to be a punter, 12 each to Kerr and Cousins. The clearance rate, Geelong dominating against the best clearance team in the AFL, West Coast this season. So that's one of the main reasons Geelong is in front so handsomely as we near half-time.
So Stengeline's West Coast great stopper. Why isn't he going with Corey?
Well, good question. There've been a number of guys go through Joel Corey. Kerr's gone to him. We've also seen Selwood go to him. So somehow he's been the release valve for the Cats.
Prentice has coughed it up to that man. Disposal 21, and he finds Johnson. Play on, says the umpire. Nikoski, good tackle by Bartel. Enright. Little short one. He follows up. Selwood's in there for West Coast. So is Banfield. Well done by Banfield. As Eagles end up with the ball on centre wing. Cox.
Cox trying to give it off to Braun. They'll get away with it as Braun loops the handball back into the path of Cox. Rock chasing hard. Fletcher in there to assist. Well, so is Milburn for the Cats, though. Chips it short. They're away. Stokes loops the handball over the top to Enright. Just lost the handle momentarily. Trying to kick it out wide. Play on's the call, not 15. And the Eagles might get out of trouble here. Luckily, as we're putting knocks at the Prentice, try to get boot the ball, ineffective. Bartel fighting hard. He's well tackled.
Great pressure, the Cats, isn't it? Great fight.
They've come to play today. 33 points they lead by. 3.5 minutes left in the half. And despite the fact that the Eagles are kicking with a slight breeze in this term, they've been able to hold their ground. We're Punda.
No.
Shocking kick, though. Straight to Enright. Rosa applies pressure. Fighting hard. Well, sliding in Kelly. Fletcher a chance. There's a free kick coming back to the West Coast. There's a West Coast player in a bit of trouble there. It's Michael Braun. But he gets to his feet. He's okay.
He's had a quiet day too, Braun.
Off to Weirpunda. Cox the target. Good contest from Corey, but Dean Cox, who's not paid the mark. Play on's the call. Selwood. Well tackled by Corey. Ball still in play. Rosa. Cox. Ottens did very well. Brad Ottens, and he's rewarded with the free kick. He's been very good today, Steve, Brad Ottens.
He has, but there's a West Coast player down on the wing. He looks like he's a bit of trouble. Can't pick who it is.
Looks like Selwood, I think. As Ottens kicks it towards Ablett. And Ablett's got it. Loose player at centre-half forward. It's okay. Nathan Ablett's got it. Short kick. Is it 15? Oh, it's been paid. I reckon it was about 12. Mackey's mark. 40 from goal.
And an ankle, ankle knee. It's hard to tell from that, isn't it?
He's up and running off the ground, Adam Selwood, so let's hope it's not too serious. It's wonder they're letting him walk, but half jog, half walk. As Mackey from inside 50, drop punt, is home, is it? It's home, Cats have another. So Geelong have their 10th and their lead back out to 39 points. In fact, it's the biggest lead of the match.
Well, they've just been harder and wanted the football more. And one of the great things about this Geelong first half of football has been their fight without the football. And they're working for each other. They're kicking goals, and they're full of confidence at the minute.
Well, Mackey has converted. It was just a bare 15 metres, that pass. And Geelong has the biggest lead in the game. Cousins gets crunched again. Oh, gee, and he gets up again.
I mean, just poor protection off the line by the West Coast players there.
Geez, a brave footballer, Ben Cousins. As the Cats go back inside their 50, but Cox is there to stop that little onslaught. Gives it to Fletcher. Now Graham to the wing, and there he is, up and at it again, Ben Cousins. And the ball's still in play, and the Cats have the numbers at the ball. This is Callan. Trying to get it to Egan. Good bump by Rook. Gave Egan some space. Now Scarlett, short to Blake. No one on the mark, so the big fella's off. A thumping kick. It's only his third kick for the season. Big Blake. And it's right on 50. In fact, that is fourth kick for the season. Thanks, Michael, for sticking up four fingers. He's had 2 kicks before today.
Exactly, 2 kicks before today and 2 today.
Plenty of handballs, by the way. So it's 50 out from Geelong's goal. Another one would really sting West Coast here. Rook kicks it to the tip of the goal square. Ottens is there. The Eagles have got numbers back. Nikoski to Banfield. And he goes short. Not 15, says the umpire. So he follows it up to Rosa. Sweeping handball to Weirpunda. He's bowled over. Umpire says play on, and Braun gives it over to Priddis.
Priddis has got her on the wing. He's got a lot of the football. Off to Staker. Chance here for the Eagles. Long towards half forward. Hanson on a long lead. Well done by Egan. Did enough. Jones, dispossessed. Goes back in to drag it back under. He's in real trouble here. Free kick to Geelong. You can't drag it back under. Otherwise you're under the
What
pump,
hope have you
aren't
got? What hope have you got? Sorry for going for the footy.
So the free kick to Callan, off to Hunt. 28 seconds left in the half. Still time for the Cats. Milburn waits for Hunt to run past, who directs traffic as he goes from the wing towards half forward. Waters, and a good diving effort there by Stengline, but Waters, now Embley and Nikoski. Fletcher, 7 seconds left, so I think the Eagles are just going to run out of time here as Priddis kicks towards Staker. He can't control, and that's it. Well, great effort by the Cats in this opening half, and the Cats fans stand to applaud their team. The long break, they lead the West Coast Eagles by 39 points.
Well, just another super quarter by the Cats. They're just winning the hard football, and their work without the football's been exceptional. A lot of good players up forward. I think Cam Mooney's been great. Chapman's been working hard, along with also Gary Ablett.
So the Cats, as they try and get their season back on track, they have a very healthy lead at half-time. 39 points over the West Coast Eagles.
You know I can see through the haze around me, and I do anything to just feel lifted.
The year. We're almost ready to start here at Skilled Stadium. Adam Selwood, the one concern for the West Coast Eagles as they went from the ground at half-time. It's definitely a left ankle. He's obviously had some assistance in the half-time break. He's back on the bench to begin the third quarter. We'll be able to come onto the ground if required. Back to you, boys.
Thanks, Andrew. How tempting would it be for Mark Thompson and the Cats to just load up the back line now, Steve?
Well, look, I think they've got to go into this quarter, win the footy again, just try and control it for 5 or 10 minutes, and then maybe look at maybe releasing 1 or 2 out the back.
Gee, I'd be a negative coach, wouldn't I, Chris?
Well, there's no initial signs. Of course, they've got the aid of, we think, about a 2 to 3 goal breeze in this third term. And it's one-on-one all over the park as Corey, third man up. They've done that a lot today. Slaps it towards half forward. Cousins and Chapman meet. Weirpunda loops the handball over the top to Nikoski. It's effective, but he's got nowhere to go, so he needs to track back inside and outpaces Gary Ablett, who sees a shepherd from Weirpunda long towards the wing. Out comes Harley. Oh, he's met solidly by Waters. Down Harley went. He's still down.
I think he's struggling a bit there.
I don't know whether he's just down because the pack's on top of him or he's in trouble. He's in trouble, Tom Harley. Solid hit from Beau Waters. Bang. Fair. Tom Harley a little groggy and just flexing the right shoulder there. There's Waters. A bounce between half forward and centre for the West Coast. Jones wins the knock straight to Mackie, who just jams it on the boot. Ball out wide. Cousins initially overruns it, but then gathers. Rosa's too close to the line, and a boundary thrown between wing and half forward for the West Coast.
Ben Cousins, boy, has he been banged up today. 3 or 4 occasions. He's still out there to his credit. Corey, who dominated the first half. 21 disposals. Picked up by Embley, who's been quiet. High ball into the middle. Floats over the head of Enright. And Braun, who's being held, won the football in the end, but ineffective disposal. Enright in hands and knees. Tried to feed it out to Chapman. Little soccer by Embley. Ball still in dispute as bodies go flying everywhere. Cats win it back through Chapman. That is a clever handball. Now Milburn on the run. Pops one over the top. Corey getting leather poisoning. Hemmed in. Back to Mooney. Left foot kick is good. And the mark's taken by Bartel, who was just about within range.
And Harley off the ground with that right shoulder. Boys going straight up the rules.
So Hunt's just come on for Geelong, and now he's run down the ground to be a loose man, but the Eagles get a couple of numbers back to cut him off. So Bartel kicked 1 goal in the second term. And with a slight breeze behind him, here's a chance here to really take the wind out of the Eagles' sails. Drop punt on its way. It's across the face and through for a point.
He
So
tried to
40
push.
points the difference.
Sorry, Quarters. He tried to push through that Tom Harley, the shoulder, and had to give into it after about 2 or 3 minutes of refusing to come off the ground.
West Coast have just restructured their forward line a little. They've got Kerr as a deep forward pocket player. Kellen going with him.
Nikoski long, great kick. Picked out Braun on centre wing. In amongst a couple of cats. He's got a loose player inside the centre circle. Rosa. And the West Coast, bit of flow to their game as Hunter runs from half-back. Kick towards the pocket. Lynch. Hunt's got it now as he trummed it off hands. Oh, he gives it up. He was probably lucky not to be penalised there. Emerging Rook. Poor kick, but Dottons does well just to pick the bouncing ball up. Feed it off to Ling. Now Bartel, loose player on the wing, Mooney. He's got Corey ahead of the play, decides to take on Braun and beats him. Kicks towards half forward, just got the kick away. Now a chance for Ablett. Was he held? No. Glass comes to meet it. Great tackle from Ablett. Nikoski. Got no support. Chapman hard up against the line. An impossible angle, misses just to the near side. So the Cats attacking hard in the early minutes of this third quarter. They have registered a couple of behinds.
16 scoring shots to 5. Cox. Short to Nikoski. Dark clouds over Skilled Stadium now. Really threatening rain. Braun. Things pretty static for West Coast. Ball kick to the wing. And that's a good mark from Egan. He's taken some very nice overhead marks in this match. Growing in stature. Rook now finds Kelly. Plenty of room to move. Kicks to the pocket, looks for Ablett where Punda gets in front. Back of the pack, Mooney, slick hands Ablett! Well, that's a long way from home, but that's just about it, I reckon, boys. It's going to be near impossible for West Coast to get back from.
Well, it's going to be tough, but once again, Wirrapunda worked under the footy, allowing the ball to go over the back. Mooney runs onto it. It's the easiest goal to Gary Ablett.
What a day that man's having.
So, dark clouds over Skilled Stadium, but no dark cloud over the Cats today. They have been absolutely outstanding. Now, centre square infringement. It's going to the West Coast. So, chance here for the West Coast, but they trail by 47 points. So, it'll be taken by Dean Cox. They need something here, the Eagles, to really test their mettle. The league leaders, and certainly before the start of round 10 at least. Fist from Milburn, Banfield, now Cousins. Tried hard all day, Ben Cousins, a former captain. Rosa now has got time to measure the kick. Kicks it poorly.
A poor delivery, but one of the problems for the Eagles today is that they haven't had anyone mark the ball inside their forward 50 or been capable. I think like maybe once or twice I can recall, but no one really has been able to take a decent mark inside their forward 50.
Disposal number 23 for Joel Corey as he finds Chapman. All their big guns are firing. Lead from Nathan Ablett is ignored. He goes the longer option. Gary Ablett's there, wrestles with Nikoski. Front and centre was Enright. Right foot snap. It's another one. Cats are cruising now. Well, this is an emphatic return to form from the Cats. Still a long way from home, that's for sure, but well, they're dominating this match now.
Well, good contest here from Ablett and brought the ball close to him, and I think that was the key. Didn't have the McCoskey fist didn't have any impact at all, and a great snap from Enright. And the Cats are just full of confidence at the moment. Well, some real concerns for John Worsfold. Dean Cox needs to get them going. Last time they played here, Cats won by 76 points coming to the ground today. You would have thought that was highly unlikely. But it's looking much like it as Kerr is penalised for not disposing of the football, and the free kick to Bartel. In fact, it's a free handball as Mackie kicks it inside half forward. Steve Johnson, Chapman, a chance for another from 40. He measures the kick and hits the post. Irrepressible stuff at the moment from Geelong.
2-2 to Paul Chapman. Yeah, he's dominating this game. 19 scoring shots to 5 now. No Judd, no West Coast. A couple of the midfielders have just failed to pick up the slack today, haven't they?
They have indeed. Look at that. Marks inside 50. Absolutely dominated by Geelong this afternoon.
That was tongue-in-cheek, of course. They're still a formidable opponent. Haven't won down here, though, since 1999. In the ruck, it's Ottens against Cox. Waters to Embley. He's been quiet. First gamer, Prittis. Not sure what to do with it. Rosa. Now he drills a long ball. Can a West Coast forward take a mark? No, they cannot. Ling mops up for the Cats.
Been great today, Ling on Embley.
Now Fletcher. Now he's got a couple of opportunities here. He goes into the pocket and finds Lynch. Big Quinton Lynch, who has not had many opportunities, in fairness to him. He's kicked it behind so far. The understatement of the season to say that they need this one, West Coast, but the way this game has gone, it's beyond them now. But there's still plenty of time left. Haven't even reached the halfway mark of the third quarter. Lynch, tight angle, across the face. Pack fly, and it's a great mark to Ottens. Right in the middle of the pack, and that's a ripping mark.
He's been absolutely fantastic today, Brad Ottens. Certainly questioned during the week, but his performance on Cox this afternoon has been a great one. But they've turned it over here, Geelong.
So a shot at goal coming up for Staker. Here's the Ottens pack mark. Doesn't get much better than that. He's a soda for mark of the year, Brad Ottens, already. Nailed that one up in Sydney. Now Staker. From about 40 metres out. This is a really, really difficult kick. Across the face. Cox almost juggled it. Jones, a right foot snap, unsuccessful. Chick's there. In the pocket with strength. Keeps it alive. Jones. Chick again. And again, it's knocked over the line by that man, Corey Enright. So throw in the West Coast Eagles forward pocket.
No easy possessions in that forward line today for West Coast.
Cox and Blake. Ball spills free, and
other than that one, I think.
Yeah, had a hand over the shoulder.
So the umpire taking an eternity to signal, but there it is right there, and you picked it up very quickly, Quarters. Free kick to Dean Cox, who has just had the 8 disposals today, 3 marks, and has been well held by Brad Ottens, but an opportunity here with Mark Blake offending to narrow the margin. From directly in front, 20 metres from goal, he pops it through, so the Eagles get one back.
Bad blue there from young Blake. That was all too obvious. And the umpire was perfectly positioned there.
So the margin back to 8 goals now in favour of the Cats.
So Cox gets a badly needed goal for West Coast, but they've got a lot of work to do. It's Geelong by 48, 12-7 plays 5-1. Beautiful tap by Cox to Cousins, who managed to get boot to ball to half forward, but it's all Geelong. Enright. Good kick. Now Blake. Worked his way to half forward, puts it inside 50. Good work by Glass. Now Hunter. This is Selwood. Great to see him back on the ground. Thought he might have been a goner for the day with that ankle problem. Nikoski with pace to the wing chick against Hunt. Hunt did it well and goes short and finds Kelly. He's got a loose man at half forward. It's Mooney. And they go at it again, Mooney and Hunter.
Oh, no.
And he's been pinged for 50.
I'd like to see it again, but I reckon it was probably...
Took the mark.
Unless it was the...
That's fair enough. That's what the rule's in place for, and that's fair enough. Took the
It is
mark,
fair enough, Steve.
and then he grabbed him.
But we need to see it paid every time.
Yeah, well, I agree with you. Quarters.
So Mooney from pretty much point-blank range now for his third. He'll have the last laugh again here. Punches the air. Oh, he's been electrifying, and Hunter says, well, what am I supposed to do? He is having what you call a dirty day at the office.
In more ways than one. Let's look at it again. Mark clearly taken.
Yeah, that's got to be 50.
No doubt. Absolutely no doubt. And Cam Mooney, arguably his best ever game for the Cats, game number 100. Cameron Mooney, 6 marks, 14 disposals, 3 goals. Outstanding display this afternoon in game number 100 for Geelong. In the key post at centre half forward, Blake gets it down. Chapman, here they go again. Handball was a little bit too wide. Chance for Braun. Was he carried forward by Enright? No. Chapman goes back in and tries to keep it in, does, but only to the advantage of Chick, who soccers forward. Staker can't control it. Third effort required from Chapman. He does it well. This time the handball to Ling hits the mark. Ling, great kick to the advantage of Burns. Little handball to himself. Nikoski comes to meet it. Keeps it in. He's got support there. Selwood. Waters. And now Fletcher, and he sets Kerr away. So the Eagles trying hard to mount an offensive attack here. His kick is poor. And it's marked by Egan.
And at the last centre bounce, Cousins got picked off again, Steve. They've got to do something about protecting Ben Cousins. I mean, they've got to be smarter than that West Coast. Cousins is just copping a pummeling.
Yeah, 100. I was thinking exactly the same thing. And I'm sure John Worsfold, when he goes over the tape through the week, I mean, that is got to be one of the highlight points on it, that they start protecting some of their prime on-ballers.
All on centre wing, Egan has been good. Callan switches to Milburn. Hasn't got a lot on offer, so he just kicks for open space, and the race is on. In the end, he finds touch. Now it's a deliberate. He's been pinged for deliberate. Oh, that's kick's gone 50 metres at least.
Yeah, that's too harsh.
And Milburn has been penalised. And supporters not too happy. Ben Cousins with the free kick at half-back. Look at him going off. Oh, no, there's a dodgy kick from Cousins. Oh, Kerr, well done. He was up to the task. Beautifully done by Kerr. The acid put on him there. So Kerr steadies. Chips to Hansen, who since the opening 15 minutes or so, that his colours lowered.
Hansen kicks back into the centre. Mark taken by Banfield. Drew Banfield, just the 8 disposals today, started on the bench. Long towards half forward, or Lynch was held, I thought, by Scarlett. No free kick. Chance for Jones at the back for the West Coast. Well done by Scarlett. Just worried him out of it. The pressure was intense. And the fans applaud the work of Matthew Scarlett, of boundary throwing at half forward for West Coast.
Well, just got body contact on him, and once he was able to get some body, just got the spoil in, Matthew Scarlett.
Chance for Cousins, slips the handball to Kerr, 55 from goal, hoists it high to the goal square. Lynch, this time, is he dragged
be a
down?
free
Yes.
kick.
This time he'll get the free kick, the big Quentin Lynch.
Had to be.
And Scarlett argues the point, but it looked to be there. Let's look at it again. There's the infringement, I think, right at the end there, dragging Lynch away. Matthew Scarlett not happy, but Lynch a chance to kick for goal. Hasn't kicked one so far this afternoon from just 20 metres. Well, he made the goal umpire work, but he's kicked a goal. So margin back to an even 8 goals in favour of the Cats. And with 8 minutes left in the third quarter, if they could sneak 2 or 3 more, well, with the wind in the final term, you just never know.
Well, there's improvement there if they want to work hard enough. But it's just good to see Matthew Scarlett, even though he's given that free kick away and he's had a great game, he's still so determined to make sure that he makes his opponent earn every kick. But well done, Quentin Lynch.
So Lynch gets his first. Ablett off, Mooney off for Geelong. 2 of their stars having a break, ready to reload for the final term. Still a whopping 48 points in favour of Geelong. Blake, nice little tap there. Corey. The well's dried up for Joel Corey this quarter. And it's a free kick going West Coast way. So Kerr in the middle. Hanson the long lead. Egan got a fist onto it. Prittis, the first gamer, squeezes a kick back inside 50. Scarlett's in front of Lynch. He backs himself. Well done by Scarlett. Beautifully done from the fullback. Fortune favours the brave as the Cats work it to half forward. Ablett leads his opponent under the ball. Selwood. Now is that deliberate as he kicks? No, it's not deliberate as he finds Cousins, who keeps it alive and then got leg. Play on, advantage. Beautifully done by Cousins, who gets pumped into again. Off to Rosa, a long ball. Here's a chance for West Coast. Is it a free kick? It is. That's about the best passage of play today from West Coast. Quick ball movement, and the free kick is going to go to Rowan Jones.
It was a great kick.
Well done by Cousins, wasn't it?
Oh, geez, he works hard. Works very, very hard. And but it was a super kick because it actually got the Geelong player out of position there, turned his back on the footy.
So Jones has kicked 1. And he's slotted it home. So West Coast, this is the start of the fight back. Three goals apiece in his third term now.
And the margin back to 42 points. And there's the infringement from Hart. The kick from Rosa, as you said, Steve, had plenty of penetration. And the work rate of Ben Cousins, outstanding. 22 disposals this afternoon for the champ, the reigning Brownlow medalist. So the West Coast Eagles with the last 2 goals of the match. 7 goals in it. They'll come home with a slight breeze in the final term. Blake wins it forward. Mackie attacks it hard. Chance for Kerr. He's got it. Needs to get rid of it. Umpire calls for it.
And Chris, just a couple of concerns down here for Geelong. Harley's obviously off with that right shoulder. Tim Callan has just come off with some hamstring tightness, and Cameron Mooney brought himself off before with some tightness in the calves.
And we just see the clearances there. That's one of the reasons why West Coast are starting to get back into the game.
And the kick forward from Cox, but it's coming back. And I think free kick to Kerr.
We talk about Geelong having good starts this year, but their last quarters, they've lost 6 of their last 7 final terms. So perhaps there's something for West Coast to look forward to.
It is, but West Coast, you would think, would have to kick the next 2 goals.
Now there's another free kick. No, it's been reversed, is it? It's been reversed, not sure why. But it's a Geelong free kick in the centre of the ground. It'll be taken by Corey, and the Cat fans love it. Kick towards half forward. West Coast have to stand up here. Steve Johnson trying to feed it back to Shannon Burns. Nikoski Ball spills towards Prittis. Well done, Kelly. Played a wonderful game, although he gives it up that time. And Nikoski.
Starting to lift him a little bit, Nikoski.
He is around Burns, long, beyond the wing. Big leap from Hunter, who's now playing up forward, but he's given away a free kick in the process. And the free kick will be taken by Milburn on centre wing for the Cats.
I don't know about you boys, getting pretty dark here. Still a long way to go. There's Milburn at half back. Chip kick. And another throw in. Corey 25 disposals for the Cats. Kelly and Milburn 19 apiece as Mooney comes back on. Cousins 22 for West Coast and 19 to Nikoski. Cox won it comfortably against Blake. And the ball's held up. Still on centre wing.
He's been pretty good, Matthew Prittis. Game number 1, 14 disposals, put himself in the play.
Well, I say in the waffle, he's an absolute ball magnet. Worked on his pace. Taken on the rookie in the rookie draft, and he's got his opportunity.
They love their footy down here, don't they?
Cox against Ottens. Ottens won that one. Here is again Prittis. To Fletcher. Broke the tackle. Kicks it to half forward. Hunter, who can kick a goal, to Cousins. Looks for Lynch in the pocket. Against Scarlett. Well gathered by the big fella. Now what he's going to do with it? He handballs back to Braun. Braun just pops it into the hot spot. It's a clever kick. It's marked by Stenglein. So, the Eagles, a little bit of a mini run here as Braun comes off. Tyson Stenglein is only 20 metres out on a slight angle. All of a sudden the crowd's got to be quiet, haven't they? So Tyson Stenglein has put it through. And now the Eagles for this quarter are in the black.
Well, they are, and look, the next goal is very important. If West Coast can kick the next goal, they're within 5 goals going with the breeze. So they win the quarter, and they can go in the huddle at 3-quarter time with a little bit of confidence. So really important now that Geelong either kick the next goal or they make sure West Coast don't kick another one in this quarter.
So the West Coast with the last 3 goals of the match, the margin back to 36 points. And some momentum for the West Coast Eagles. Cox and Ottens. Ottens wins it down, taken by Fletcher. Shares it with Rosa, who hoists it high towards half forward. Oh, great courage shown by Enright. Running with the flight of the football. He marks it half back, just steadying things down momentarily. He pokes it out wide, the mark taken by Corey. 9 marks, 26 disposals, 5 tackles, 4 clearances to Joel Corey this afternoon, and short kick back to Enright. Still over 4 minutes of actual game time left in the quarter. Enright pokes it short to Burns. So the Cats just looking to retain possession, just to slow the momentum down to the West Coast, who have controlled things for the last 5 or 6 minutes. Back to Enright. Need to man up here, West Coast, and be diligent on the mark. Scarlett gets away from Lynch, and he's utilised, although Kerr was able to get across to affect the spoil. Cousins, Prittis needs to get rid of it and does. Well played. Lynch, and now Emily from outside 50, vacant goal square. Thumping kick is bouncing. Great stuff.
What about that?
Daniel Kerr, take a bow as well. What an important spoil that was, but super kick by Embley.
Andrew Embley, they forced the turnover. There was no one back in the forward 50 for the Eagles. And Andrew Embley, who's had the job on Cameron Ling this afternoon, has been very quiet, just 9 disposals, but that very important.
Gary Ablett hurt. Geelong led by 9 goals in this quarter. Now it's 5. Is this the start of something big for West Coast? We know Geelong have faded out in the last quarters in recent times as Kerr puts West Coast to the 50 again, and Ling takes a very important mark. Still plenty of time left in the third quarter, let alone the last, as Ling goes to the wing and finds Corey. Takes his 10th mark for the afternoon. Now he's told to go, Joel Corey, so it's play on. He kicks a high ball. Back with a flight of the ball is Rosa. Waters tried to claim the mark, unsuccessfully. Little kick by Rosa to the wing. Stenglein can't mark, but he got it to Lynch. Now Lynch, he goes long. Hunter's one out, and that's a free kick to Geelong. No doubt about that one, as Milburn was being held on easier. It's just one of those days, Chris Owens, for poor Adam Hunter.
Can't get a thing right.
No, can't take a trick.
Enright. Player across the ground. There's Cam Mooney, so he uses Mooney. 1-on-1 footy it's been this afternoon. No signs of flooding. No numbers back. Kick towards Chapman again.
Another
Kerr.
good spoil.
Awesome spoil. Because it sets Waters away, who's got plenty of time. Runs towards half forward, draws Burns. Over the top to Fletcher. Fletcher onto the chest of Jones. And this West Coast side starting to click into third gear at the moment. They've kicked the last 4 goals of the game, and this to bring them back to within 24 points.
It's amazing what work rate can do. Like when you get an even work rate, and Kerr's been one of the inspiring players for them.
Rowan Jones, kick on the way. It's across the face. It's been difficult to judge all afternoon. That kick from either pocket, in fact, kicking to the Doug Wade stand end of the ground because the wind makes it extremely difficult. With the wind, of course, favouring the other end, but are behind only to the West Coast.
Last 7 inside 50s. They led by 9 goals halfway through this third quarter, the Cats. Kick out wide by Corey is a good one, and finds Milburn. And he's now having his 21st disposal. He's back inside the defensive 50, so we're a long way from home to be playing this sort of football. They just need to stem the flow here, the Cats, for three-quarter time. But it's a very fascinating last quarter now. Long ball to the wing. Ottens worked underneath it. Corey again. Handballs into the middle to Chapman. Banfield. Well done by Chapman to keep his feet. Stenglein's in there. Chapman did it magnificently. To Enright, to Ablett. Clever kick around the corner to the hard-running Joel Corey. Got a couple of short options. Chapman's one of them. That's 50. Gotta be.
Dear.
Well, I don't have a problem with that, Michael. Why do you have a problem with that?
No, I didn't have a problem with it. I can't understand what Daniel Kerr was thinking.
You have Chapman loose in the pocket.
Now, he hasn't gone over the mark here. He's on the mark.
Yeah, it's 50.
I mean, oh, there you go. You can see Daniel Kerr saying the other
Oh,
umpire.
he's missed it.
You can see Daniel Kerr saying that the other umpire called it touch ball. So that's why he went to tackle Corey. So,
and he's gone to within 15 metres and he's missed it, Joel Corey. We'll have a throw in.
now watch Kerr here. You can just point to the other umpire and say he said he touched the ball.
No, he didn't.
Well, if that's
The umpires should get together then.
well, exactly.
Well, so play continues. Chance for Geelong. Kick towards Chapman, who marks low down. With 18 seconds left on the clock in this third quarter, he kicks it into the pocket. Bartel. Oh, I don't know about that. He's only 10 metres from goal, Jimmy Bartel, but the angle reasonably acute, about 60 degrees. We'll get a look at it in a moment. As the siren will sound for three-quarter time. What an important kick this is. 5 goals the difference. The West Coast building momentum. This to halt it. And to go to the three-quarter time huddle, leading by 6 goals. He nails it. The Cats respond. Three-quarter time at Skilled Stadium. 14-8 plays, 9-2. There's 6 goals the difference.
So 36 points at the last change. And in the next few weeks on Network 10, we've got some big matches coming up.
He's utilised the low curves, able to get across to affect the spoil. Cousins, Critis needs to get rid of it and does. Well played. Lynch. And now Emily from outside 50. Vacant goal square. Dump and kick. Great stuff.
Oh, the Eagles making their run, but that last goal on the siren to Bartella's just stung them a little bit, West Coast. Geelong lead by 36 points, 14-8, plays 9-2. Corey up to 30 disposals. Cousins has been fantastic also for West Coast with 24. Now, who's been doing the hard work as far as heavy legs are concerned? He's had a pretty good game, boys.
He has indeed, but you can see there Fletcher, Cousins in particular, have spent a lot of the time on the ground. Can they keep going? He's been an inspiration, Ben Cousins, but he's spent a lot of the time on the ground.
He has, and if we have a look at the Geelong heavy legs, most of them are backmen with Milburn, Scarlett, Enright obviously a little bit on board, but Egan another backman, and of course Nathan Ablett up forward.
Let's go down to the boundary line where your work today has been grand, Mark.
Oh, thank you very much, Quarters. Maybe sensing something here. The Geelong coach, Mark Thompson, really kept the huddle in there tight right at the very end, stressing to them the importance of finishing this one off. They've got some issues, obviously. Tom Harley coming off with that shoulder, leaving a huge hole in their defence, and Gary Ablett Jr. receiving some treatment to a left knee that really started to give him some concerns about halfway through that third quarter. It's clearly affecting his movement. He's going to stay on and push through it. He's a pretty brave little soul. They need a big effort from him in this last quarter. Back to you, boys.
Tom Harley's an interesting one, isn't he? As soon as he came off the ground, they started to struggle. And he came back into the team and he stiffens up their defence. Pretty important play for the Cats.
He's had a bad run with injury, Tom Harley. Mooney's been one of the stars for Geelong this afternoon in his 100th game for the Cats. Geelong start the final turn, 6 goals in front.
Ottens to do battle with Cox. They share it. Bartel scrambles the kick towards half forward. Coming up to meet it, Steve Johnson, but later numbers with the Eagles. Banfield back to Glass. He sweeps the handball wide to Daniel Kerr, who was prolific in the third quarter. Really got them moving to Daniel Kerr. He's kicked towards half forward. Jones the target, but Kelly did enough to affect the spoil. No, he didn't. He did too much because he's given away the free kick. Been very good, James Kelly. Jones off to Fletcher, who kicks it to a central location. Stegline sliding on his knees, Marks. Eagles need an early goal here. Off a step towards half forward. At the back, Hunter. Fist from Milburn. Braun. Graham. In fact, it's Rosa. Little give to Braun's okay. Hunter from out or just inside 50. Kicks a goal. Oh! Well done, Adam Hunter. So it's been a dreadful afternoon for Adam Hunter. You can see why. He hasn't had a lot of the football, been beaten at centre-half back by Cam Moody. But can he be the player that really lifts the West Coast Eagles this afternoon? Off a step, Steve. That was great stuff, wasn't it?
Under pressure, off one step, carrying about 45, 50 metres. There we see Adam Hunter up against Matthew Scarlett.
So it's back to 5 goals. Cox over the top. That's a magnificent hit to Kerr, who gets it to Fletcher. Back to Kerr. Just gets pushed as he kicks. Hunter will get there first. Lost his footing. Scarlett didn't panic. Bartel laid a tackle when Hunter didn't have it. Umpire said that's okay. Now Ablett, with the left knee heavily strapped, goes to the wing and finds Ottens. Plays on. Ottens to the 50. Looks for Ablett. Hasn't really been much of the action today, has Nathan Ablett. With Punda. Did it well in the end. To Glass. Over to Rosa. To Embley, who from a standing start kicks it to the wing. Lynch gets there.
Just forward of the wing. Quentin Lynch. Loose player and half forward. Good kick. Jones marked 60 from goal. Stengline's loose inside attacking 50. Took too long.
Oh, Cox
drives it long to the goal square. Hunter in good position. He got hands to it. Missed it. Chance for Scarlett. What's he going to do here? The umpire calls for it. Well, we've seen one or two of those paid holding the ball, Steve, this afternoon.
Quite incredible. But
Not that time.
Dean Cox was the man he should have gone to. He was free, sitting at centre half forward.
Cox wins it down, taken by Callan. Crosses defensive goal face and wobbles the kick, but it's okay. Mark taken by Bartel in the back pocket. Can Geelong hold this West Coast surge? The Eagles have kicked 5 of the last 6 goals of the match. Ling, very quiet afternoon. Kick towards the wing. Turnover, Braun. Selwood checks the kick and does it superbly onto the chest of Cousins.
So Ben Cousins, pretty hard to see anything from there. Sun right in the eyes. Just pops it up to the 50. Oh, the big fly from behind was Nikoski. Now he play on there.
The call play on
I
there.
think it was a Staker.
Didn't hold it.
It didn't hold it. Okay, so he's got the ball back as Staker. Now Nikoski, who loads up. It's a monster kick. It's another one for West Coast. Here they come. Well, in the end, Staker did well to win the ball back, and that's a thumping kick from Nikoski.
Sensational. Off, might have even been off 1 or 2 steps, but good recovery. And this is the kick on 50. Puts him within 4 goals.
He's had a good day, Nikoski, isn't he?
Yes, he's been outstanding. Nikoski, 20 disposals, 5 marks, and now a goal. And Mark Thompson, Andy.
Sorry, Chriso, the problem's compounding for Geelong. James Kelly's brought himself off with a knock to the lower back, so I don't think we're going to see much of him for the rest of the match.
Remembering the Cats have lost 6 of their last 7 final quarters.
So Kerr, well tackled by Ling, just in time. He got the handball to Weirpunda. Well done, Mackie, fists it towards the line. And it beats Cousins over, so a boundary throw in on the wing.
I think Bomber Thompson might have to put Gary Ablett in the midfield at the minute. They need a spark out of there, the Cats.
Well, there's plenty of time. Eagles with what we think is a 2 to 3 goal breeze in this final term. Fed back by Bartel to Mackie, who kicks towards half forward. Ablett in front of Nikoski. The fist from Nikoski effective. Good pick up, Graham. Now Selwood from half back. Adam Selwood delivers wide. Emily's got to be strong here, and is. Not paid the mark though. Didn't hold it. Enright. Kick only covers 15 metres. Weirpunda's got to beat a couple, but he's got support. Selwood. Graham, advantage paid. Players don't know what's going on. Now Graham continues. Pumps it long. Not much to go to. Mooney drops back and marks comfortably in space. You can see the space at half back.
No one on the mark, so Mooney can just stay there. He doesn't have to do anything, Mooney. He can stay there for as long as he likes. Doesn't have to get it moving. Now he goes short and finds Enright. Back into the corridor. As the Cats switch. This is Stokes. Goes out wide. And gee, it's difficult for the players to see out there. Milburn on the outer wing. Short kick to Ablett. Into the middle. Is that 15? No. And this Sun is playing havoc with the players. Hunt broke free there and banged a long ball inside 50. Third man up is Ablett. Takes the juggling mark. Play on, says the umpire. Kept the ball alive. Oh, crunch goes Lynch. He's got hurt too. Put his body on the line. Nikoski's run down. Spills to Kerr, who's been sensational in the second half. Over to Glass. And the Eagles now take the ball to half forward.
Kick towards Hansen, who crashed the pack, couldn't take it. The Cats there, well done by Scarlett, feeds it out. Callan ran around the ball, socket forward by Jones. Bartel under the pump, but he did very well. Cooley picks it up, kicks it out wide. Milburn chips it short. That 15, it's been paid. No, taken by Ottens.
Still hurt off the ball, Lynch.
That was great courage shown by Quentin Lynch. As Ottens has it on centre wing. Long towards half forward. Egan the target. Fist from Graham. Mackie just inside. Play on's the call. Banfield takes him over. We'll get a boundary throw in between wing and half forward. And here's the attempt from Ablett. Oh, gee. I reckon he marked it.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Throw in. Slightly in the Cats attacking half. West Coast won't lie down. Burns. Over to Corey. This is disposal number 31. It's a long kick inside 50. Weirpunda. And a fascinating battle with Chapman. He's got Cousins on, cross half back, and the punter decides to go into the defensive goal square to Graham. Now there's a whistle here. There's a free kick coming back. The punter was pushed after he got rid of the ball. Short one's on to Banfield. It's the Cats by 4 goals. They led by 9 in the third quarter. Kicks to half back. Braun, good mark. It's got to be paid, it is. So Michael Braun, this is his 13th disposal to the wing. Mooney, big fist away from Hansen. And they'll have a throw in.
You think, Steve, Geelong will need to kick another goal or two to
I
ensure
think
they
so.
win?
The big test is going to be whether, if West Coast kick the next one, to see what type of character the Cats have got, because they're going to be under enormous pressure and there'll be a lot of doubts in the Cats' mind.
Oh, Corey again has had it on the proverbial string as he goes to half forward. Big pack fly. Banfield, with experience, he's wrapped up though. Good tackle by Johnson. Free kick has been paid. It's coming back to Johnson. Too far out to score. He's about 60 from home. Excellent tackle. And a fresh airy from Banfield resulted in a free kick.
Oh, Brad Ottinson's drifting forward on his own here.
Oh, the pass was on. Mackie spilt the beans.
Geez, that's a poor effort.
Braun slaps it forward. Little soccer by Selwood was ineffective. Johnson beat 1, beat 2. Now he's run down by Cousins. Free kick.
Great stuff
Here
from
they go.
Cousins. Advantage paid. Braun sweeps the handball. Kerr, outstanding second half from Daniel Kerr. Wants to draw Milburn. Milburn won't be drawn, so he keeps running. Long towards half-forward. Stenglein, great mark, great hands in front of Hunt. And Tyson Stenglein will kick from 45. Angle, as you can see, less than 45 degrees. And here's the tackle from Cousins.
Huge.
Gee, that was great work.
Great tackle, but huge kick for goal, this one.
Gee, it was a strong mark, wasn't it?
It was. Pressure coming from Hunt, but Stenglein, who kicked a goal in the third quarter. They won't have too many chances, the West Coast. Need to convert these sort of opportunities. Drop punt on its way. The goal umpire does not move. It's a 3-goal ball game. Tyson Stenglein kicks his second, and there is a dull silence around Skilled Stadium at the moment.
Well, there is. You just sense that a number of Geelong players are thinking, who's going to lift us now? And that's what Bomber Thompson be thinking in the box at the moment. Who's going to stand up for him and who's going to show the way? And Steve, just at the minute, Mooney is playing at full back. When Geelong were playing well in that first half of football, he was playing at centre half forward.
West Coast to kick 7 of the last 8 goals.
Oh,
Great
they couldn't do it, could they? They couldn't do it. Surely they led by 54 points in the third quarter, the Cats.
At the 14-minute mark, Steve, they led by 54 points, Geelong.
Quite incredible.
This is incredible. Embley has it at centre half forward. He's too far out to score, you think. He's 60 from home. Andrew Embley, a shepherd late on the mark, allows him to run to 55. It's a thundering kick. It's a massive kick. It's another one. This is unbelievable.
There's
What
a
a
shepherd.
kick.
It was a
That was
great
clever.
kick, but what a clever shepherd
It
by
was.
Braun. That extra couple of metres obviously helps.
Surely not, Michael. Surely not.
Well, what a goal this from Andrew Embley. A little shepherd from Michael Braun. He unloaded from outside 50, and it's just 2 goals in it. The Eagles have kicked 8 of the last 9 goals of the match. A stirring comeback from West Coast. Chance for Prittis. He lost the handle. Steve Johnson, Ling, hoisted high towards half forward. Ablett, oh, strong mark. Great body positioning there from
Got to get
Nathan
it in
Ablett.
there. Got to get it in there one-on-one.
from outside 50. Steve Johnson's on the end of it. And Steve Johnson's mark deep in the pot. Looks to play on.
That's unbelievable.
And that's really poor. Fletcher mops up to Cox. And the Eagles have got
Look at
possession
Cousins
back.
working hard.
Nikoski's working hard as well. Gets it from Cox. Nikoski, long raking kick towards Jones, who marks superbly right on the line. This West Coast side is inspired at the moment.
Poor decision here by Steve Johnson. Just needed to go back and have a shot at goal.
Prittis, first gamer, towards half forward. Mooney got a hand in there. Egan, oh, look out. We dropped the ball. Embley, Stengline, now Braun, 55 from goal. He loads up towards the goal square. Cats with the numbers. Well done. Mark taken by Scarlett. He had Milburn to assist. And Lynch looks like he's in a bit of trouble, but Scarlett's short kick is okay. Marked by Enright.
So Enright. In fact, it's not Enright. It's Stokes. And receive from Enright. Goes to the wing. Bartel. It's the mark. Banfield. Now Staker. Handball to Braun was just a bit too slick. Stokes did well. It was a good effort by the youngster. Into the middle. Blake. To Ling. Sidestep one tackle. Now to half forward. But he's put it straight down the throat of Selwood. Poor kick by Cameron Ling. Prittis in his first game has had plenty of it. Disposal number 19 coming up. It's a terrific effort as he goes short to Braun. Hansen back on for West Coast. Lynch off. This is Weirpunda. A driving kick inside 50. Hunters flies from the side. Mooney. Enright has the ball pinned to his chest and the umpire will effect a bounce. 40 metres out from the West Coast goal. They trail by 12 points and we just passed the halfway mark of the last quarter.
Mark Thompson looking very composed. Now a chance for Hunter. And was he held? No. Staker. Ball in dispute. Staker fighting hard against Mackey and also Milburn in there for Geelong. Eventually the umpire calls for it. A bounce 45 from goal. There's the Milburn tackle on Hunter and then on to Staker. It was okay. Cox and Blake. Cox takes it out, jams it on the boot, high towards the goal square. Going back, Kerr almost a superb mark, couldn't take it. Scarlett tried to fend off a couple. What's the umpire going to do here? Play on's the call. Callan, Chick's got it. Going nowhere.
Gee, was lucky there, Scarlett.
Bounce in the forward pocket.
What an effort by Kerr.
He took him on, Scarlett.
He did take him on. That's a free kick.
That should be a free kick.
Free kick.
Anyway, lucky break for the Cats. Down it goes. Cox. Stengline's there. Caught a bit high. No, said the umpire. Yes, he did. He did give him the free kick.
Against Blake, I think, coming front on into the head.
So Tyson Stengline is only 10 metres out on a 45-degree angle. This is for his third, and there was the free kick against Blake. Yeah, and this will make it one goal the difference.
I mean, a poor effort, really. Get low, wrap him up in the tackle, ball up.
Exactly like what Quentin Lynch did down the other end, Sauce.
So Tyson Stengline for goal number 3. There is one goal the difference at Skilled Stadium. Absolutely amazing. And there's the free kick. He milked it for everything it was worth. And Stengline has gone back and kicked his third. And now there is just 6 points the difference.
Well, just to recap, at the 14-minute mark of the third quarter, Geelong led by 54 points. The Eagles have kicked 9 of the last 10 goals in the match and trail by just 6 points. It's been one of the most remarkable turnarounds we've seen for a long time. And Dean Cox certainly been a major player in that. Can they do it, West Coast? Can Geelong respond? Can they find something in the last few minutes here to dig deep and get back the ascendancy? Fletcher to Kerr. Steve Johnson, a good tackle. Handball, wild one. Selwood. Cousins, who's worked very hard today, Ben Cousins. Kick towards half forward. Fletcher needs to be courageous, and he is. Marked strongly. Off to Rosa. Loose player inside, Daniel Kerr. Daniel Kerr from 60. Driving kick to the goal square at the back. Oh, almost a mark to Hunter.
Handy point.
Very handy point.
Calling it early quarters.
Margin 5 points in favour of the Cats.
Well done by Fletcher. It was his turn to put his hand up, and he did so. But the Cats are still in front. Hunt to Mooney, almost run down by Endley. Now Bartel, short to the 50, and the mark's claimed and awarded to Enright. Steve Johnson off for Geelong. Ottens comes on. Cats by 5 points. Oh, he's gone! Play on! A chance for West Coast to hit the front, but they can't through the kick of Jones. Stubbed his toe as he kicked it, I reckon. What a mistake. Cats falling apart at the seams. And Jones just couldn't quite finish it.
So Hunter full back, decides the safe option is just to kick long. Cox and Blake at the 4, Corey. Handball ineffective. Rosa jams it on the boot. Hanson in good position here. Good fist from Hunt. Stengline.
Right.
Jones. Handball out wide. Cousins from 40. Where will he go? Snap around the body. Towards the goal square. He missed everything. Out on the full, under pressure. Good pressure there from the Cat defence. And a free kick. Look at that. Disposals for the quarter.
4 to the 5.
Dominated by the West Coast as they bring it out. Milburn. Dubious looking handball. Scarlett kept his head. Back to Milburn. Hurries the kick around the body. Rook feeds it off. Now Scarlett, who's run from fullback. Can he inspire them? Kick towards half forward. Going back, Banfield in good position. Need to keep your feet here, boys. Banfield does it brilliantly. Kerr in good position to mark. Milburn fist was superb. Boundary throw in on the wing.
Somehow they just need to manufacture a goal, Geelong. It's stating the obvious, but they've just got to try and get a goal, and it might be enough. But right now, their season is well and truly on the line in the most extraordinary of fashions. There's the free kick to Ottens. Now, no, I thought it was going to be a 50-metre penalty there. So Ottens kicks a high ball to the 50, the backpack fly. The fist came from Graham. Kerr brought it down. Fletcher's there for West Coast. Tunikoski, who's played a great game. Back to Graham. Quick hands was good to Weirpunda. Here come the Eagles. Weirpunda goes to the wing. Jones, in 2 minds, decides to kick. And he finds Staker.
Tim Callan's out
No
there
one's
at the
picked
moment.
up Kerr.
Callan's out there at the moment. I'm sure he's done his hamstring. He's running around. They can't get him off.
Into the pocket to Kerr. Sauce, you saw him coming down the corridor.
No, honestly, they were all looking at Kerr. The Geelong players have stopped running, and Kerr basically ran the length of the ground.
So Daniel Kerr, gee, it's a very tight angle. And it's the Cats by 4 points. In he comes to put West Coast in front. It's a good kick. Eagles hit the lead. West Coast by 2 points in what has been a 10-goal turnaround in just over a quarter of football.
Unbelievable stuff here. What a kick, what a finish from Daniel Kerr. His second half has been quite simply brilliant. 15 possessions in the second half. He's dominated this final quarter. And after trailing by 54 points, 14 minutes into the third term, the Eagles are now in front. They've kicked 10 of the last 11 goals of the match. Ottens and Cox. Cousins, was he leg? No. Chick, deft touch to Kerr. His handball intended for Cox was intercepted by Stokes. Well played, young man. Handball is okay. Corey's away. Here's a chance for Geelong. Joel Corey has had 32 disposals, coming in for 33. They need to mark the Cats. They need a mark. Big leap at the back from Blake. Couldn't take it. At ground level, he finds it. Can he snap a miracle goal? No. Chance for Ablett, though, and Ablett's marked. It carried 15 metres, and Gary Ablett a chance. Oh, no one kicks it into the goal square to Nathan. Nathan has marked 10 metres from goal, and he wants to get on with it quickly. Take your time, Nathan.
Someone's got to get over to him.
Take your time.
Take your time. You've got all the time in the world. Well, 30 seconds at least.
So we're into the last 5 minutes of actual game time. Nathan Ablett, a chance to put the Cats back in front. That's what's ahead of him. He goes. The Cats back in front. So after surrendering the lead, Geelong have found something. They've kicked the goal. Still plenty of time left. 15-8 plays, 15-4.
Yes, and well done by the big fella. Got a quick boot to ball. And Gary Ablett saw his brother on his own and under pressure. Nathan Ablett was able to put it through. Good kick.
So the Cats back in front. 98 plays 94. Otten's at the bottom of the pack. Kerr trying to prize the ball from his hands. He almost did it. Knocked forward by Cousins. Fletcher, little toe poke was clever. Kept his feet. Dish to Cousins. Left foot kick is smothered. Beautifully done by Rook, who sweeps the handball to Corey. Listen to the crowd. Burns puts the foot on the accelerator. Back to Corey, back to Burns. He's taken over the line and smashed into the cameraman. What a dramatic afternoon at Skilled Stadium. A throw-in on centre wing. Cox and Ottens go at it.
Ottens gets it down. Stokes slipped as he kicked. Chapman comes through. Loose ball, Braun, clean hands, well played. Now Kerr. Daniel Kerr measures the kick. Enright couldn't take the mark at the back. A chance for Waters. He's run down by Rook. Chance for Hunter.
Throw.
Free kick. Will come back to the Cats. And Hunt kicks across the ground. It's okay. Mark taken by Bartel. 25 minutes on the clock. Still 2 or 3 minutes left.
Got a man up here, West Coast.
Hunt, Milburn. Loose players all of a sudden appearing for the Cats. Rook.
Daniel Kerr is the player without a man.
He goes towards Milburn, but not before Rook gets the kick away to Milburn. Now they've got them covered. Now they need to be just diligent. They're the quarters, 31, 28 and nearly 32. So plenty of time left. Milburn forced to kick it high. Braun strength through marks on the wing.
Quick release to Cousins. Looks at the options and decides to go long. Inside 50. With courage flying back. Can't even spot the Geelong player. It was Egan. Couldn't hang on to the mark. Ball spills free. Jones to Hunter. Hunter has kicked. A goal! Eagles back in front.
He's done it plenty of times, Adam Hunter. He's kicked 2 goals in this final quarter. He did it in the final series last year, in the preliminary final, in the grand final. And what's been a terrible afternoon for him is turning to gold. Mark Thompson cool and composed, but I'm sure he can't believe what's happened.
John Worsfold getting numbers behind the ball now, so he realises there's not much time left. He's now going defensive.
And the Geelong opponents are manning them up, so it's a very crowded Geelong half. Corey, Ling, long towards half forward. Johnson at the back, couldn't hold on. Chance for Braun. Now Cousins. Ben Cousins from just backward of the wing towards Lynch, who
big
marks
grab
strongly
back. Just
overhead.
needs to slow it down.
27 minutes gone. He concedes ground back to Cousins. So now it's time for West Coast to maintain possessions. Cousins ignores that and kicks her to the chest of Chick. And Daniel Chick, who has been very quiet all afternoon, in fact, has just had the 4 disposals. In fact, he's the lowest disposal winner for the West Coast, with a chance to kick from just inside 50.
A great decision by Cousins, though, because everyone was man on man other than Chick, who was deep, and Cousins had the poise to be able to make the decision that when Chick came up to honour the lead.
So Daniel Chick from 48, drop punt is across the face and through for a behind. So 3 points in it in favour of the West Coast.
Milburn to do the kicking in. Waste no time, no one on the mark, so he taps it to himself and handballs to defensive 50. Steve Johnson, a long ball. Big pack fly Chapman from the side. The fist came from Weirpunda. Umpire will bounce. No idea how long is left. 28 minutes have ticked over. One of the most dramatic games of football I've ever seen. Cox has a fresh airy. Now Kerr, what a second half he's had. Handball into open space. Ablett was pushed. Umpire let it go. Cousins has been brilliant. Kicks a high ball. Now the race is on. Weirpunda, Scarlett, Embley are all in the picture. Scarlett tries to keep it alive unsuccessfully. A throw in on the outer wing.
Well, quite remarkable. West Coast by 3 points. Cox and Otten's at it again. Cox takes it out, jams it on the boot. Only as far as Rook, little fumble. Kelly, that's it! Oh, it's been one of the most remarkable games of football you'd ever wish to see. The first time the West Coast have won here since 1999, and they've come back from facing a 9-goal deficit midway through the third quarter.
Well, Geelong's season has all been snuffed out in the most devastating fashion imaginable. This is extraordinary. One of the greatest comebacks in football history. From 9 goals down halfway through the third quarter, the West Coast Eagles have taken the points and all but ended Geelong's campaign for 2006. It is like a premiership scene in the West Coast huddle. There's the look for the Cats. Total devastation. Let's go to Andrew Marr.
Thanks, Quarters. Unbelievable scenes down here. Is that the best win you've ever been involved in?
I don't know, I have to sit down and assess it, but...
Well, 9 goals down you were. 9 goals down with about a quarter and a half to play, away from home, a ground that I'm not sure how many times you've won here. Putting it into context is hard, but that is it's unbelievable stuff.
It's tough to win down here, especially to come from behind. Just a great win. I thought, the boys backed themselves in. We knew we'd get our opportunities. We took them.
Did you know you were going to get the opportunities? How do you know you're going to get them when you're that far down?
Yeah, it's just the boys have got confidence in their ability. I think one thing that we do rely on is our work rate, and we knew that if we keep doing the things that, have been working for us, we'll turn our way eventually. It was a sloppy first half, but what do you do?
Mate, no one thought you were actually going to play today, and you've copped a mountain of punishment. You can hardly breathe right now, you're that knackered. And yet your work rate was unbelievable all the way through the game.
Yeah, I think that's just, all the boys were great today, and, to win games of footy, you need to have that right across the board, and we did that today, I thought.
When do you reckon you ultimately got the sniff that you could win this game? Was there a point in this match where you can remember now, a couple of minutes after the siren, that you were actually a chance of winning it?
Well, I guess three-quarter time, we won the third quarter. I thought we come into the huddle pretty confident. We knew we were kicking with a breeze. And once we started getting momentum in that last quarter, the boys have got plenty of belief in their ability, and, it's just a great win, I know.
Mate, monumental performance. Well done.
Thanks, mate.
Good on you. Back to you, boys.
Well, this is what makes the game of Australian rules football so great and at the same time so devastating, depending on who you barrack for. It's like premiership scenes there, isn't it?
Oh, it is. I mean, look, the West Coast Eagles are a great team, but one thing that win does today is no matter what stage through the season, now they might be 5 or 6 down, but they'll have a belief that they think they can get up after a win like this today. That is one of the best wins in the history of the West Coast Eagles Football Club.